Good afternoon. 4-1 win to the Toon. Hey, here we go. We've got a couple in straight away, so we're going to get to these before we have our say because it's always
Well, the first thing we're going to do is say thank you, Becca DJ, for a £20 super sticker. Hippo character flips around and does a V sign with his hand while the word victory appears in the background.
Superb. Thank you so much, Beck. Excellent. Here we are then. The Doc's with us. Come on then, let's psychoanalyse what we've just seen.
Good evening, gents.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Very well, mate. Very well.
Okay.
Yeah, Borky's not frightened to face the music. Come on, Doc, what you got to say?
First of all, congratulations. Very happy. I think best performance of the season. Team selection, very happy with Ramsdale, and it showed that the defense kind of were very calm, and his distribution was phenomenal. I don't think he made any errors at all, and you could see that the way he was distributing the ball, the centre backs were and the full backs were very comfortable. I thought Tino and Hall played very well. Couple of mistakes. Which is fine because they need to get up to match fitness. Miley, brilliant game. Carried the ball, kept calm. And yeah, so I think overall very good performance. I think I agree with Gary. I was commenting during the first half. We did lose the ball. I think we played well for the first 10 minutes, and then kind of for the next 15 minutes, we were struggling to retain the possession of the ball, which was a bit worrying. But then I think second half, we kind of just imposed ourselves, kept the ball. And I think the third goal was key, just before half-time. That really killed Everton. Again, Malik Chow, brilliant, I think, man of the match. Obviously, got the 2 goals, but he just oozes class and calmness. And I think he worked well with Ramsdale as well, the passing between Ramsdale and Malik Chow.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the out ball from the lads when we've got fullbacks, proper fullbacks, we just seem so much more balanced. We seem so much more composed. And again, we're not losing the shape of the midfield as we have been over the previous few weeks when we've had injuries, and I think that makes a massive difference. I'm not sure whether you guys are aware, but history was made, if you like. It's taken a decade, but Newcastle player has finally scored 2 headers in a game, and that's a decade ago since we last done that. So that's the first bit. That's a hellish stat. And the last
that was by Shearer, presumably, then, was it?
Yeah, I think it was. I've just been having a look at some of the interesting stats, and it's been made.
It couldn't have been.
Yeah, I was going to say not a decade ago.
If it's a decade, no, it couldn't.
Yeah. So like I say, interesting one.
Retired, wasn't he?
Was it not Shea?
He would have been retired, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would have been.
So I'm sure somebody in the chat will tell me that. But Malik Chow has become the player to score 2 headers in a single game at the same match for over a decade. And the other one, the last time, our last victory away at Everton was a 4-1 thrashing at Goodison Park.
That was the famous Isaac run down the wing.
Exactly. Isaac in the white and green strip, wasn't it?
Yeah. Green again.
Yeah, white and green though. White shirt, green shorts. What is there anything else apart from what you guys you mentioned there about the fullbacks? I thought Malik Chow again was superb. A little bit more comfortable with the keeper at the back. I thought he handled himself fabulous again. I thought we isolated a little bit too much on Voltemada at times, though. Did you see that? Did you think as though we went a bit negative at times, too far back, or do you think it was managed better than we managed Marseille in midweek?
Who's that to?
Come on, lads, speak up.
Well, can I speak?
Yeah.
Go on, then.
Right. Well, from minute 11 to about minute 17, I was in despair and I thought I'm watching a rerun of the Marseille game. And then they got a grip on the ball, scored the second goal. And then after that, you could see the confidence grow. The passing started getting better. And then you could actually, and something I've not seen for a good few games now, is with Newcastle, you could see that the players were actually enjoying playing. And I thought, this is wonderful. And then they just went on to completely control the game. But I was trying to think in the second half, what man of the match, right? Now, at halfway through...
Should be Chow.
Halfway through the second half, I was trying to think man of the match, and I couldn't figure out who, right? Because there was 3 10 out of 10 performances on that pitch tonight for me, which was the 2 fullbacks and Miley. And up to that point as well, Dan Bernhard, but he dropped off a bit for me. And I was thinking, well, who do I give the man of the match to? But I've got to give it to Miley. Miley is now not a prospect anymore. He's a first and a starter. He was fantastic tonight. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was brilliant. Yeah, I thought he was good.
It's definitely his best performance.
I think
For 90 minutes as well, that's the thing. Just watching his goal again there. And I still don't know what Pickford was doing with it, to be
Bruno,
fair.
he was allowing Bruno to take a back seat tonight. He was just running everything.
Yeah.
But see what happens when you've got those 2 fullbacks on.
That's the difference for me.
That was stationed near me, but I didn't have
The 2 of them were... It's hard to speak with Roy.
Roy, we've got some
Roy,
feedback
turn
from
your
you.
radio off.
Take your radio or whatever you've got on there.
Hey!
You're right, dude.
Go on, have your say then. Go on.
That was Jekyll and Hyde. That was Jekyll and Hyde. How can the same team play like this in the same week?
Well, it wasn't the same team, that's why.
Yeah, I think Eddie got a spot on. Pope should not go back into the team again, I'm afraid. That's changed a bit of the momentum, especially playing at the back. See how many times they passed him the ball? Ramsdale.
Yeah. Amazing difference.
And your heart wasn't in your hands.
And Roy on that one, can you remember that beauty pass that Ramsdale did right the way through the middle of the...
Through the middle?
Yep.
Yeah.
You saw it as well. Whack right through to the halfway line, straight to a Newcastle player. You wouldn't see Pope do that.
No.
You never see Pope do it.
Boogie, what you gonna say?
Well, sorry about the first start. I couldn't actually hear you, as I had to drop out and come back in again. So
that's all right, mate.
Apologies for that. I'm not going to actually speak about the players as such. I think it was said the other day that when Howe loses, it's always his fault, and when we win, it's always with the players. So I think you've got to give that one to Howe. Good game management, and even in-game management, he made a subtle change between, I don't know if you remember, but in the first half between Bruno and Miley.
Miley, yeah.
Yep. And
swapped them both round, didn't
they? And that led to the first goal.
But Bogey, me and Wayne...
The feedback goes back to how it says, well done, mate.
Me and Wayne are rooting for Eddie all the time, right? And when we do, we get called happy clappers. And then now there's a good performance, and Eddie gets it right, and even you know. So you're coming to the light side now, are you, Bob?
I haven't changed my opinion, but I'll be honest. When there's a good performance and he does things that we've asked him to do, and you can see things happening. And if that carries on, then I will come across. I'd be more than happy to come across to your side.
Hang on 2 seconds, Bogey, because you're saying when he makes change in that. How many of us six would have had Toon Army on the bench? Honestly.
No,
I wasn't really talking about that change. What I was talking about was he made changes due. He picks a team at the start of the game, and we'll all disagree with certain things that he does. I think most people would disagree with dropping Toon Army for that game, but if he drops him in a win and he does the right thing during the game, his in-game management is right. It's wrong to come out just to say, "Oh well, it's a one-off sort of thing." I'll praise him up for that, and I'll quite happily do that. It doesn't mean I've changed my opinion on him, but it does mean that I'm quite happy to say he's done the right thing. And if he carries down, like you said, Win, you were on the edge of coming over to our side. I'll be on the edge of coming back to him if he keeps managing games like that.
Yeah, I think the beauty of it for me today, though, compared to other games, especially away from home Premier League, not talking Champions League or anything else, was, again, how do you affect your scoreline? Well, it's the simple is you've had 13 shots and you've got 8 on target. And out of them 8, you've scored half. You've scored your 4. And again, if you look at your metrics, total XG, we're only getting 1.92 on your XG, so you're overperforming. And I think that is the difference. When you're underperforming like we have been and you're not getting the shots on, or you may be taking the shots, but you're certainly not working the keeper, that is the problem. You've not been successful in that final third and it becomes frustrating. And I'm just been having a look at all the pass maps. Very different again to where we saw against Marseille, where you were isolating your midfield. Today, you've got your bank of midfielders in there. I think the only criticism I would say, and I can't really critique it because we've won, was we did isolate Voltemada a bit more today than we have done over the last few games. I would have liked to have seen Harvey Barnes or maybe somebody else, whether you say Elanga, get a little bit closer. We were just outside the 18-yard lines rather than just inside. So a little bit wider today against Everton. But apart from that, I mean, I think man for man, it was a very strong performance.
It's nice after the 90 minutes, but Gary and everybody else, Doc and Roy and Bogey, at 15 minutes, did any of you think, oh no, here we go again?
No.
No, you didn't?
No. Well,
I think I mentioned, didn't I, in the commentary, this is very reminiscent. Well, funny enough, what I said was it's very reminiscent of Marseille.
Yep.
We've taken the lead, we've sat back. Now, is there a chance that when we break, because we were under the cosh for the majority of the rest of the half, is there a chance that when we do break, we can convert our opportunities? And that's exactly what we did today that we didn't do on Tuesday.
I think the difference for me is the fact that, yes, you are getting a little bit... and the only thing I could say is we were a bit deep. I didn't think we were very good at sitting, 5 yards in front of the back line. Because when you do that, all you do is block the vision of the defender for the balls through the passing lanes. So I would have liked one person to have said, listen, let's step up another couple of yards because we were too narrow at times. That was the only critique. But for me, the one thing that was a bit different today, and the one thing that I noticed from Everton, if you noticed, they didn't commit every single body forward like Marseille did. Marseille had 10 players, apart from their keeper, in the Newcastle half on Tuesday. Where today, because we'd got Elanga in the side, they kept Mykolenko still 2 yards inside his own half. So as much as they had that ball in front of us, they actually didn't create overloads in certain pockets of space. And I think, again, it's having that mindset of they've got pace. If he breaks, we ain't going to catch him. So that was what we were missing on Tuesday for me. If you've got nobody in the side that can break lines, then you're always going to struggle to the press.
One thing I'd like to highlight, if I can, right, is it was apparent. It's become obvious and it's been proven tonight and against Man City. People have been really getting on Harvey Barnes's back and like Elanga and Murphy, right? They're just not cutting it, blah, blah, blah. But you see what happens when you get them two fullbacks on the field, right? All of a sudden, they start putting in stellar performances. And those, I just can't believe the difference that Hall and Livramento make. It's like having 2 extra players in the team. They're incredible, those two. They're absolutely incredible. If you saw the...
Yeah, with Gary, that's been my take all season. Wait till we get Hall and Tino back and Wissa. But of course, the counter argument to that, as Spokey will tell you, is so how can 3 players being injured have such a devastating effect on the best squad we've ever had?
Well, aren't you seeing it when they've come back in? All of a sudden, we're wiping the floor with Everton and our own backyard. We're beating Man City, right? The 2 of them didn't play together against Marseille, and we lost the game. And you can read into that what you want, but I think it's glaringly obvious, because the wingers take on a new flipping life energy when them 2 are playing behind them and linking up with them, because they're not just overlapping down the wing. They're coming inside. It's like they're making up come the edge of the penalty area, and when those 2 push forward, we've got like about 5 guys across the box, and I didn't realise how good they were until the last sort of 2 games, and I've seen the effect they've had, because we've went from disaster to a team that looks as though they can beat anybody with them 2 in it.
I think the problem that comes from that then, though, Gary, is that you can't play them, especially not at the minute. I don't think when they're both recovering from injuries, you cannot play them week after week. And if we are so poor without them both playing, what is the solution to that? I mean, obviously, the obvious answer is buy another. We all thought at the start of the season we were well covered, because we thought if Hall gets injured, we've got Tino who can play on the left and Trips who can play on the right. If Tino gets injured, we've got Trips can play on the right. You've even got Kraft who can back him up.
You know that I'm a great fan of Kraft, so Kraft is a reliable right back. He's not going to be as effective as Livramento, because Livramento is something special. So you can't expect them to live up to that. But and down the left, well, we haven't really got any cover, have we? Because you can't keep sticking Dan Burn there. You need somebody to come in who can cover and play like Hall plays, which is asking a lot, because Hall is once again something very, very special. And then kids, how old are they? 21 and 19.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, it's just unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think there's a bit of negativity. There's a little bit of negativity about Elanga in the chat, which I think is a little bit unfair to be today. I think he didn't. I mean, he wasn't pulling up trees or anything, but he had quite a good game.
He was trying.
The ball for Baltimore's goal was good. I mean, he was off balance, but he still managed to get the cross across.
Yeah, that can only do his confidence the world of good, getting the assist.
And I think maybe he's getting a few games under that lad's belt now, might really help him going forward. Now he's got the assist, and he's got himself going. Get up there, and mind you, again, what a finish from Baltimore with that goal. I mean, I know it was a little thing, but what a lovely little thing.
Roy, what you got to say, man?
He's getting some
petrol. He's getting up his burger.
We'll come back to him. Doc, what do you got to say?
I do agree with Gary. I think after the first 10 minutes, I was concerned. For the next 10 to 15 minutes, it was kind of we dropped quite deep, and we weren't retaining the ball. So I was a bit concerned. And I think the second goal was kind of a game changer. It kind of settled us down. But my concern is Hall and Tino. like you said, Win, if they're not playing, and you can't expect the consistency levels to be the same throughout the season. So what's our backup if they're not playing or they're not, performing, and has such a negative impact on the team? That's my concern in terms of squad depth. So I think in January we need to get some, maybe definitely a left back to as cover, and possibly
I'd say more right back because Tino can play very well at left back as well.
Yeah,
Big Nick fan there, thank you. Big Nick is saying Dan Byrne felt at home tonight, even though we were away.
But Doc,
and Trips is like 35, 36, so you can't rely on him to play consistently well. I think Ramsdale was the main difference for me. I think Ramsdale made a huge difference to the whole team. It gave confidence to the team. You could see Malik Chow and Dan Byrne very comfortable passing the ball back, and his distribution was brilliant. I think there's one diagonal ball he did was a brilliant ball as well.
So did anybody else think that was a strange setup though, bringing two natural 10s out wide? And you saw Willock wasn't involved in anything on the right hand side. He played more an inside right. Ramsey, as much as he held the ball up for us, and he snuck in a couple of times down that left hand side, and again it was just poor balls towards the end, and poor touches that created his chance. Put himself a little wide when he had the opportunity to score. I think they did okay. I just think again when you're looking at what Eddie Howe's trying to do, by putting players not like for like. Again, when you've got Sean Neve on there, you could have quite easily just said, you know what, I'm going to put Gordon on the left-hand side, throw Sean Neve down the middle. So everything is balanced. I think, if I'm honest with you, I thought Willock did okay. I'm not saying Willock had a poor time, but again, you just lose that stretching of the park a little bit more. And I think when you play with one inside left and one out wide, you've got to have the right player. And I just didn't think Ramsey suited that left wing position. Inside left, totally agree. I think that would have been good. And maybe throwing Willock out on that right hand side because, I mean, I know O'Brien is probably the one that you can get behind. And that's why I thought Anthony Gordon on the left hand side would have been more effective against O'Brien, who seems a bit sluggish, than Mikalenko.
Do you not think it was just all about just some fresh energy, really?
Yeah, it is, but
tactical.
Yeah, you're right, Gaz. But at the end of the day, it's like I said, if you've got somebody like Ramsey, who's now being classed, and the way I look at that, and if I was Ramsey, I would be a bit part player in a bit part position. Because he's not nailed a position down. It's literally now go and fill that void for me. And that isn't great for confidence for a player.
Well, no, because he's in the same position as a couple of players have been. He's got to come in slowly, like Miley has, and like Alanga will do. Like what Wynne was saying earlier, is give Alanga, or Bogey, I think maybe he even said it, give Alanga a run of games now, right? Because actually he did look a bit better tonight. And what he's got to do, the difference is, instead of putting him in a position where he feels he's got to prove himself to get into the team, let him feel as though he is part of the team so he can relax and get on with his job. And I think, it all happens in here. And, just give the guy some confidence,
Yeah, I know what you're saying though, but when you're 4-1 up, what you want to do now, I mean, Stevie's put it in there, possession, Gary. That's what Hale was after. And I agree with that. But for me, players can move out wide from a narrow position. We needed to be compact because that's what Everton were doing. They were trying, because we were so mid-focused, they were trying to throw it out wide. And that's what I said. If you look at where we were and the way Everton were playing, they only ever had their fullbacks up wide at a lot of time. They come very narrow themselves. So for me, you wanted to block out and then find, one goes right and one stays centre. One goes left, one stays centre. So as you see the back line do, you work 5 yards apart and you move 5 yards. Same as the midfield. When the ball transfers from right to left, everybody moves across together on that left-hand side. It's exactly the same with playing two guys in the middle because what you've got there is the narrowness, and when you need to go out wide, Move your body out wide. It's a natural position to be in.
I have a question.
I've got to slightly disagree with Gary Moore there in regards to them players.
How dare you?
Elanga and Ramsey. The reason we spent so much on them was because they were already Premier League proven players.
Yeah,
so we brought them in as Premier League. No, let's finish, Gary. We brought them in as Premier League players, so that they would fit straight into the team, or if they were needed, they would be straight into the team.
Well, that's your perception.
That's it's not my perception. That's why we've spent that much money on them.
No, you don't know that for a fact.
I know that for a fact, because otherwise we'd be trying to buy youngsters from abroad or
Eddie tell you
from abroad.
Well, Andy Bell, 19 months. Thank you, Andy.
Well done, Andy.
You got they'll bed into the team, Bogey. Don't worry about that. But I have one question, right, that I'd like to ask everybody. I don't want us to overinflate this result, but were Everton crap or were we good?
I think it's a bit of both.
I think they were probably a bit leggy, as Tim would say, after playing with 10 men for 78 minutes on Wednesday.
Yeah, and then, of course, I was going to say that.
And then they had obviously they didn't have who got sent off again, man.
Guy.
Available.
Idrissa Guy.
Because as Doc was saying, right, when he was at about 15 minutes, he was getting concerned, right, because it really was looking like a rerun of the Marseille game. And then all of a sudden, we got the ball, and then we started passing it. And did anybody else notice that our passes weren't going astray? We were controlled. They were all nice controlled passes, and it was, laying off to another player and with movement, and all of a sudden we just changed and grew, and that's what, I don't know, there was just that one point in the game where we stopped kind of like namby-pambying around and then just took control. And do you know what I mean, Doc? Do you know the point?
Yeah, I agree. There was a point, I think the second goal really helped us, and it kind of settled things down.
Yep, and we just started passing the ball, and it was always going to a Newcastle player, and and that it changed, and we hadn't looked like that for quite some time. Forget the Man City game. If you take the Man City game out of it, we hadn't looked that composed for quite some time, actually. So that was nice to see today.
I also think, Gary, we're not utilising Nick to the best of his skill set. I agree. He was getting a bit isolated. The ball was bouncing off him. There wasn't somebody close to him for him to, lay the ball off to.
Barnes was trying.
I think we need to work out how best to utilise him, especially when Wissa's back. I want to see Wissa and Baltimore playing together.
But I think it'll just fall into place when Wissa comes back. I think Voldemort will just kind of it'll just be the missing piece, for Voldemort, and I think he just basically have free reign once Wissa comes back, and I'm kind of excited to see that, because with the team we've got now and these young'uns coming in, the two fullbacks and Miley, who I just think now is not a young boy anymore. He's a man. I think Miley could play for England, to be honest. And then
do you not think we're getting a little carried ahead of ourselves here with Miley?
No, Win. You'll watch the game again, won't you?
Of course, yeah.
Well, you just watch Miley. He was imperious.
No, I said he's had his best game for the Toon by a mile from start to finish.
And he covered all the ground that Tonali would too. He was everywhere, and he was defensive.
And by the way, that win makes Tonali's stats even worse in terms of games when he doesn't start.
But when I agree with you, I think we need to hold fire on Miley. He needs to consistently perform. You can't. Yeah. I think one performance yeah, we praise him, but consistency is the most important. For example, Kobe Mainoo played some brilliant games for Man U, and then he dropped off. So he needs to show that consistently.
Yeah, I agree with
But
that.
look, when he's coming on, right, you're seeing consistency. But when he comes on and gets a man of the match, kind of gives a man of the match performance, you know, what's he got to do to get some consistency? You know,
He needs minutes. He needs minutes. Yeah.
Well,
That's
exactly.
it.
But the
And
thing
I
is,
think we've probably got the answer now. And I think Howe will probably have realised now that he can split the three stellar midfielders up, if you like, and play. We don't necessarily need all three of them to perform.
well,
But I think what it's proven today is that we definitely do need the two fullbacks, because it strengthens, and Ramsdale, because it strengthens the whole team, the whole outlook, everything. I think.
I tell you what, one thing that disappointed me, and is one player that disappointed us was Byrne. He was brilliant all the game. I've got nothing to call him for, so I'm going to have to be nice about him all week now.
And that's disappointed you. That's good to hear.
Disappointed us, yeah.
Let's have Roy. Hold on. Let's listen to Roy, because I've got
a guess.
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
we can
now
hear
we
you.
can.
I've got a guest in the car because I'm the designated driver. There you go. 1 sec. Introduce yourself.
Hey,
hello.
Who's this we've got here?
Oh, hang on. I'm Carla from South Shields.
Hey, hello, Carla from South Shields, all the way in Qatar.
All the way in Qatar, yeah. Yeah.
Well, how shit was it? I mean, how good was the game today?
Yeah.
We don't normally say that.
Yeah.
Carla, are you driving back to South Shields now?
She's on the wrong side.
Roy's taking me, to be honest.
Yeah, you be careful with Roy.
You're being abducted.
I'm just a designated driver, man.
Yeah, just a designated driver.
Well, what are you?
Cook, look.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on the game, though, Roy? Overall?
What, me?
Yeah.
I would say,
Carla, of course.
1-0. I was still worried because I was thinking, we scored early again, and then here we go again. But once we got the second, that's the game over.
That happened. That definitely happened.
And you can tell Everton were leggy, and I missed that Guy. What's his name? Guy who got sent off against Man U.
Yeah, Guy.
Yeah.
And I think that game against Man U with 10 men for about almost 85 minutes just sucked the energy out of it. But it's not going to take anything from us because we were good. Miley should start, I think, every game now, man.
Well, he certainly showed his class, didn't he?
Yeah, for me, he was man. I know Chow scored 2, but Miley was man of the match. Miley got a goal and assist.
Man of the match for me as well.
I'll give it to Miley today. But overall, Chow's been our best player all season.
Yeah. I gave it to Chow. I thought he was outstanding today, to be fair. The only thing you can, not even criticise was their goal. But I mean, when you see Hall putting that ball down from over his shoulder, it was a class touch. To be fair, it was a worldie, and he took it really well. And like I say, I think Malik Chow was expecting somebody else to come out, like Ramsdale to come for it, or maybe even Tino to get round him. So I think I have to give him the benefit of doubt on that one, because it was Fulham have just gone 2-0 up against Tottenham, by the way, after 5 minutes. Spursy are doing a Spursy at home. Right then, let's get to a couple of the chats. Who?
Carla?
Yep.
Go on then. What's Carla? What do you think of the match, Carla?
I thought it was not the result I expected, to be honest. So it was fantastic, especially after Tuesday. Third goal, I thought, is it going to be another Tuesday scenario? Let it go, let them win. But no, it's excellent. And Miley was fantastic with the corners. just the corners itself. The set play was way better than what we played on Tuesday.
Yeah. So while we're talking about set pieces, to me, that was a fantastic difference. How much trouble did Everton look at each corner for us doing an Arsenal?
I'd
Very
never seen
different.
that before, Gary. Did you see Miley?
Yeah, because it was Miley taking them. That's weird. That the youngest kid we've got in the team is the best set piece taker. Strange, that like.
I'd never seen him before, but them corners were absolutely fantastic that he was putting in.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed with Lewis Hall's, if I'm honest with you. I don't know whether there was a change. Maybe Lewis Hall was to look for more of the groundy ones at the front post, but again couldn't beat his first man. We noticed that at Marseille. He struggled to get and beat the first man. Again, trying to put pace on the ball. It's a difficult job to do, to get accuracy and pace on the ball. But I was really impressed with those corners. I think it makes us look a different team rather than just highlighting and picking out Burn at the back stick. We've got a couple of good. Well, I think it's balanced today. In the chat, the effing size of these seagulls says great performance from the lads. Can't fault them at all. Tino Hall outstanding. Peter NUFC, Big Nick is class. I think his vision is unreal. Again, isolated to a degree, but still able to get involved when it counts. And again, I thought his finish at the end of the first half was absolutely outstanding.
His finish was superb.
I'm very unfortunate, if you like, to not get a second. I mean, literally, he placed it past Pickford.
It was world class.
Did you guys see the ball that he put through for? I think was it Elanga.
Yeah, and that was
a
surrounded by 5 Everton players, and still came away with the ball and laid it off. Absolutely
Amazing.
Superb.
That's why I think him and Wissa can link up very well.
I think I know it's an easy thing to say after a win, but do you not think the back four looked a lot more calm as well with him in goal?
Oh, absolutely.
There just seemed like a little bit of like level head. There wasn't like but there wasn't basically the thought of, I can't do what I would normally do here and pass back to the keeper because it's Pope in goal and he'll just he'll hoof it somewhere where he shouldn't. Sorry to steal your words there, Roy, but he'll hoof it somewhere he shouldn't.
I think there was 3,000 supporters in the ground as well who were a lot more calm.
Yeah, but if you think, well, against Marseille, we tried to play 5-yard balls and they were awful. There weren't passes that you would say were to a player. Today, we controlled it a little bit more, and when we were in a little bit of bother, it was just cleared. It was just get rid of it and let's reshape. And I think that is the difference. I think sometimes we try and become too much of a European club, too much of a, let's keep the ball possession-based club, when we quite honestly haven't got those type of players. And yet today, against a reasonably tired Everton, when they had the ball, they couldn't break the lines. So when we had the ball, what we did very well today was make a very tired Everton run even more. And they had to work really hard. And as the game was going on, there was more opportunities and openings for us to go on and get that third and fourth. And by that time, it was all over. And like I say, I was surprised that Everton, and again, you can't fault their efforts, did get one back. Because I thought their heads had gone by that time. The body language was pretty gone. But I think, like you say, Adrian here, brilliant corners. Hall, Voltemada, class. Everton, very mediocre. But again, you're up against an Everton side. Steve Waldo, Everton were woeful up front compared to Marseille. Yeah, you're right. And they haven't got a strong front line. And again, that Barry kid, bless him, very isolated. And we've seen that. We've witnessed that at Newcastle when we go too wide. And, and that's why I said Tino today, for me, was level above where he usually is. Because Grealish is a tricky player to play. And Grealish, literally, I bet he's still in the dressing room now trying to find him in his pocket because he hadn't got an answer for it. And there you go. It always proves how ineffective you are when your gaffer pulls you off because you've done nothing. You've not been effective in the game.
He actually was effective, but he discovered that the only way he could be effective was by passing the ball because he put some lovely balls through. And as opposed to taking Tino on, he was trying to thread a ball through and succeeding in threading balls through to dangerous players in the box.
Yeah, but you've got to have runners, though.
To be fair.
And that's what I said. That's what Dewsbury Hall gives them. He runs from those deeper positions off the shoulders into the pockets. But you're right.
Like Willick used to do for us.
Yeah, you've still got to have a player to find you. And that's what I'm saying. What he had to do then, the same as Ndai, they both had to come central and become very narrow to try and change it up and overload the midfield and overload that 10 space. And that's why I said I think what Newcastle could have done is do the same. Bring players in and become narrow and utilise your fullbacks a little bit more out wide. But they, man for man, I thought they were outstanding.
Snake bite saying, hey, we won 4-1, panel. Tell your faces that.
how much better does it feel coming on, having an away win, an easy, like a comfortable away win under you in the Premier League?
Exactly.
Nicer is it coming on after that? All picked up on little faults, but let's face it, it was a class game result for
you keep your eye on Willick. He's coming back. He's coming back in form. I reckon at the back end of the season, Willick's going to be starting to put in some stellar performances.
For Crystal Palace?
Fingers crossed.
That's a bit cheeky, Gary.
That's where he's rumoured to be going.
That's why they've put him in the shop window.
Did you guys notice from corners, Ramsdale did really well. He wasn't flapping. He wasn't punching the ball. It was very calm.
Yeah, I mean that was a dodgy one, though, wasn't it? On the line, where he had to Harvey Barnes. Yeah, did well.
Yeah,
did really well.
Overall, what I'm saying, it was very calm from corners for when they had corners.
Well, we didn't look again. You try and remember. I thought we had so many more corners than they did, and when Wynn told me we were equal on corners or we were one in front, I couldn't remember a corner for them because we never looked in trouble. And like I say, if a team doesn't give you anything to remember, it was a nil effort at goal, or there wasn't anything to really look at. Paul Wright says, "Fair play. We look slick and very dangerous. I am surprised but happy. Credits where credit's due. Miley has to start." Tino wasn't a 10. Hall was. Miley was too.
Yeah. They actually had 8 to our 7.
Yeah. They had more than us in the end.
And Olasula, thank you very much, Olasuna. Miley, so impressive today. Tenali needs the competition. We should reward good performances to keep everyone on their toes. I think Marseille was just down to a wrong selection. So thank you for that, Olasula.
And let him be the number one keeper until he does something wrong and Pope.
I forgot to say something about Joe Linton as well. First half, I thought he was quiet, but he was much better than the second half.
Yeah.
But still nowhere near what he used to be.
He still gave the ball away.
Yeah, you see, for me, with Miley playing the way he does and did today, for me, I would always want to try and play my 3 more technical passers in the midfield. J7's great at doing what he does. I mean, Wynn noticed a couple of times where J7 wins the ball back. He's got them long legs. He can just toe poke a ball. He can turn. He can get through a couple of bodies. But that's when the rest of the team are doing well. You find with J7, when we're struggling, his highlighted bad parts get highlighted even more. And opposing teams, will work and feed from the mistakes that you give them. And when you've got players on the field that give the ball away far too often, that's the areas that they lock onto. That's why, unfortunately, J7 always has sometimes 2 or 3 bodies. He's not Voltamada with the ball. He hasn't got that control. He hasn't got that composure, if you like, with the ball. And to be fair, I thought, I wasn't very happy when Bruno went to the floor again. Under a bit of pressure, and because the referee didn't give him the free kick.
That's
you know what I mean? So you've got to be careful where he keeps doing that. I didn't like that. Miley needs to be first choice for me. Miley, by big Nick fan again. Big love to Miley. Oh, bless her. Shell, she's been a massive supporter of this channel. And like I say, a massive Toffee Blue fan. Unlucky today, Shell. Still love you though.
Shell, your new stadium's cracking though.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks good.
Amazing. So,
Team Nut saying, "Where's Tiger?" Oh, we won. Yeah, that's where. Steve Walden, a better side than Everton would have give us problems. Let's not get carried away, guys. What do you think of that then?
Yep, I think that's
in front of you.
What me and Doc were saying. After 15 minutes, I was worried.
No, we can't predict the future. We can't predict these things. But you be who you're playing in front of. So, job done.
Yeah. I think we're still at times a little bit sloppy on the ball, though, Roy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We weren't after we scored the second goal.
I think we played much better than we have before. But some of the games that we drew and stuff, the performance wasn't miles worse than this. So it's just who you're playing against.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take it as it comes.
Again, it's margins as well, you know. We've said it a million times. It's in this game, it's small margins, and today, you know, we had those small margins in our favour, and cracking, you know, what a result, brilliant, everything to do with that. But as we've said in the past, it counts for nothing till we see. So I know it's the Everton reaction. But what would you do for Tuesday? Because it's easy to say play the same again. But do I have to rotate again?
I think you do.
I would just stop Toon Army for Joe Linton. That's it.
See,
there you go. Speak of the devil, and here he appears.
He's here to fight the corner.
He's here to fight his corner. Tiger, my man.
How's it going?
You're right, buddy.
We've got the two protagonists in general here, Tiger and the Doc.
How's it going,
Tiger, we'll have to hide in the corner, us, man.
I'm not hiding. I'm not hiding.
So what you got to say, Tiger?
No, listen. Hey, listen. Howe got it right today. The lineup, everything was spot on. You know, I was worried, you know, going into this away game after the Marseille, but look, we played well, and I think the balance of the team was perfect tonight. You know, the midfield of Miley, Joe Linton, Bruno, you know, worked really well. Alanga, Barnes, Walter Marder, they played well. I missed the first half. I was busy doing stuff. I'll catch the second half, but I saw the goals. I thought the goals were brilliant. But the crosses from like Lewis Hall and Miley, wow, like unbelievable, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What did you think about the corners then, Tiger? What a difference, mate.
Yeah, like I didn't know Miley could cross like that. I'm not gonna lie. You know, but yeah, you know, like Howe's got he's got a headache now for Tuesday. And
what a lovely headache to have, though.
It is. It's a great headache. But do you know what it is? We pull a performance like this, and then the next game is just going to go back to like square one again. So, but I hope not. I think this is the team going forward. I think, you know, I think Ramsdale played well.
Yeah.
His distribution, his passing from the back, and you know the defense will calmer with him in the back instead of Pope. And I got to talk about Malik Chow as well. Like, wow, what a performance!
What a player! Yeah,
what a player! And like I was saying, like to like D-Man and Jefferson as well. Like the way he's performing, he has to start for Germany in the World Cup. And I think if we don't get Europe this season, you can see Bayern Munich coming for him because you know they like tapping up the German players. So, I hope not. They got to pay big money, 100 mil at least. And like everyone goes in the Premier League, oh, Saliba, Gabriel are the best. Like, so people need to talk about him now.
No,
Just 2 seconds, Michael McIntyre. Thank you for your super sticker. Fan character laughing out loud with tears in his eyes. Thank you,
Cheers,
Michael.
Dude.
Tiger, he's getting better with every game.
He is.
Every game.
Yeah, he is. He is.
And I would go as far as to say he's arguably the best centre back in the Premiership at the minute. He's just.
Well, he had a game on his hands today. You know, he got the goals, but he had a game on his hand today because Burn never put a foot wrong.
The only disappointing thing about him that I find is that he can only score 2 goals in a game, and he should be scoring 3.
Oh, get out of it! You know what though? The one thing that I got really pleased about was the fact that we lost to Everton last game of the season, the end of last season, and Pickford gave us some right vibes. He was really bigging it up, getting the pats off the boys and all this. He's going to be a bit sulky tonight, I think, don't you? I mean, that's he's going to have a sore head tomorrow morning, mate. I'll tell you now. Listen, for me, I always say I see it as I see it, and I thought today was a great performance from a few boys. There were lots of outstanding performers, and lots of performers that got involved when they needed to. It was more of a team effort, more of a controlled system today than I've seen all season. We haven't huffed and puffed. We haven't gone out and chased them. There was no press on today, if you looked. So the intensity side of things wasn't there. That wasn't the identity away from home. And that is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see us being able to control the game a little bit more.
It's Tino and Hall. When they're on the field, what a different team.
Well, fullbacks always give you that option, especially if they know how to play a fullback role. And I think
we've got the two best ones in the country.
Well, I think they're certainly up there. But for me, when you've got players like of them that aren't fearful of also carrying the ball, I think that is the difference. Some fullbacks just like to have the ball, give and go. They'll still get up and down the field, and they'll get the balls into the box. But you very rarely get composed fullbacks that are happy to carry the ball at feet, take a player on and run with the ball. I like that from our team.
Hall's playing today was just...
Oh, it was outstanding.
It was just a joy to watch. How he just... he'll take two players on. Hall.
Yeah. I still think Hall had the more difficult time, though, with Ndai. I thought Ndai, there's a couple of times he got behind him, but he did well to get back. Ndai never really got anything as an end product, even though he did beat Hall a couple of times. So
that's because he had Big Dan behind him as well, though.
Oh, well, there you go then. I knew there was a reason.
But again, I mentioned it earlier, but again, the big thing in that game was Eddie made a tactical change, which he never ever does early in the match when he's seen things weren't working right. With Burn and Miley, it's a very small switch, but I think that turned the game round for her.
Bruno and Miley, you mean?
Bruno Miley, sorry.
Yeah, look more balanced, didn't it?
I think I've called him out all season for not being willing just to do them little changes, and he did it, and we'll reap the rewards for it.
Do you think though, Eddie?
It's his birthday. He's wiser now.
Yeah. Do you think since he put Tonali as the sort of the 6, right, that he realised he was onto something, because our midfield started performing superbly when he did that. But then do you think he's actually coaching Miley to play that role? Because he took Tonali out tonight, right, and you didn't even notice. Miley was there, and he was covering every blade of grass. He was running the midfield.
Miley didn't play that role from the 20th minute. Was Bruno?
Well, I don't know, because there was... See, what happens with that midfield is they just cover each other, and they're swapping back and forwards. So it's hard to follow when you're watching the match. They know what they're doing, but we don't necessarily know what they're doing. But I just could see that Miley is being groomed as that sort of Tonali type of player, And I thought he did it magnificently tonight, and to the point where you didn't miss Tonali, and that's got to be some compliment.
Jody Howe, man, saying you can't underestimate the Ramsdale effect on the back four. They were in full confidence in him. Had full confidence.
He's right. He's completely right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there was a number of things.
I read that Eddie said that Pope had a groin injury. So was it actually? Do you think if he was fit, he would have selected Pope?
Well, isn't it funny that he suddenly developed this groin injury?
Okay, so you don't think it's actually an injury?
I don't think there's an injury there. I mean, I could be wrong, of course, but that's just my personal belief is, he's maybe had a word with Pope and said, look, yeah, I'm gonna play Ramsdale, but rather than it look as though I'm specifically, blaming you, why not have a groin injury instead? Words to that effect.
Can I say one thing about Ramsdale? Like, he's waited for his chance for so long, and this was a big game for him, and he could have been like a lot of pressure on him. He could have like made mistakes, but look, he was calm, and I think Eddie has to give him a run of games now. He has to see where until Ramsdale flops now, innit?
And by the way, he was calm when he did play against Spurs, who were playing next. So
exactly. So
he did, and there was some lovely passing from kicking out. The one that sticks out for me was that one that shot right the way through up to the halfway line. It took all their front line out and straight to the feet of one of our players. Pope, struggles to keep the ball in play. So it's just a big loft up the field, and it usually results in giving possession away to the other team.
Olasula's saying there, thanks for the super chat, Olasula.
Thank you, Alex.
He's saying, keep the midfield three now. Keep it. Tonali, Bruno and Miley at 6.
I've said this for a long time. This should be the midfield. Miley sits back, and then the two of them just do whatever they want.
Miley.
Except, as we've said, will look better today when Bruno went to the 6 and Miley moved further forward.
Yeah.
But you can do that naturally during the game.
You can change.
It's showing Eddie Howe that he can change things around during a game, but not necessarily changing players, just slightly tweaking where players are playing on the pitch with each other. Let's hope he learns from that and keeps it going. And I think that's the big test moving forward. Is this a one-off, or is he now looking at it in-game management and thinking, I can change around things, like do little tweaks that help the team?
Well, Adnan saying J7 played a smart game today. He stayed back and then attacked much better.
I think he looked good today, J7, after a long time.
What's nice to see is, like, go back a few years and you used to look at Man City and their bench and the players that were quality of players that were coming on, and this was the team you aspired to. And when we got took over, it was like, we can be like that now, and go for it and have a good bench and everything. And it's only till this season that we've actually had a strong bench. But it's lovely to see that we've got people like Miley to come on, right? And then if Miley gets picked, we've got somebody like Tonali to come on. So we get things into perspective, and it's not looking too bad. It's what the story is with us. Everything's taking time because of PSR and all that type of stuff going on.
According to the stats, Gaza, with Miley, apart from the corners, because he had 2 corners that were headed clear, apart from the assist, obviously, he only gave the ball away twice the entire game.
He was magnificent. He was. I thought he was absolutely magnificent. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that I thought he might have been the best player on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, Bruno covered more ground, to be fair, playing in that deeper role from when they changed. And you can see the areas that Bruno occupies. He does get, he does like to work box to box. But he did give the ball away. I mean, again, only 5 times, if you like. So that's not bad for your midfielders. And J7 only gave the ball away 4 times. So, again, it's about keeping that shape, it's keeping it close, and it's keeping the ball. And I think that is what Newcastle did, apart from the odd occasion where we lost the momentum because we played the ball a little bit behind players and we had to stop and then backtrack. But what I really liked, I've just rewatched the goal again, is the way we recycle the ball when it's headed clear sometimes and cleared. It's coming from a corner and then we recycle the ball left deep and then going right, and then the ball gets scrambled in the box and then you score. Miley scores from it. And I think sometimes, when we've seen that in the past. We've not been able to recycle the ball very well because we've been too anxious to get the ball back into the mixer a bit too quick.
We get into a very bad habit, and it happened against Marseille, and it happened early on, which is why we went defensive. Is the defence, right? When we are clearing from our own penalty area, we get this terrible habit of hoofing the ball down the field, and it just gives possession away and lets the team come back at you, right? Where tonight we didn't do that. We got the players were getting the ball and they were passing it out away from the penalty area and building, momentum and supporting each other and moving forward as a team rather than just boot it down the field. If we started doing what we did like against Marseille and what we've done too many times this season against other teams and just boot it down the field, Everton probably could have equalised or even went in front if you're going to play like that, because even though you beat them 4-1, they're a Premiership side and they're nobody's fools. All these teams in the Premiership are capable, and if you give them opportunity, they'll take it. So one of our biggest failings has just been that booting it down the field.
Yeah, Gary, I think you're right in what you're saying there, but I think part of it as well has been, and I think Wynn's probably picked up on this more than anybody else. We have tried to pass the ball like we did the day out of defence and things like that, but the players couldn't pass the ball the 3 yards.
Yep, I know that.
We got into bother on more than one occasion today when we passed it to the fullbacks and when Everton applied a bit of press, we found we couldn't make that final pass out, and they came back at us again. It was noticeable a few times that day for me.
Well, I thought it was improved today, actually.
Well, it was improved, but it wasn't. It's a long way from perfect. But anyway, Nez Surf is saying 4 points off a Champions League spot, still in the Carabao, going well in the Champions League group stage, and we're only in November. The squad is starting to gel.
I think we need to be cautious. We only have a sample size of one game. We need to see this over a sample size of over the next 5 games. And now the next 2 games become very important. There's no point beating Everton and then drawing against Spurs or drawing against Burnley. We need to follow up with 2 more wins.
Well, but you say that, but it's not one game, is it? Because we played the same against City.
Yeah, but I mean,
and we went ahead against Marseille. If it hadn't been for a moment of madness from Pope, it would have been a completely different story.
You can't say that, Win. You can't say that. You've got to say we lost against Marseille. So, any game you can see, there's been moments that have changed the game. But
Bogey, what was the moment that changed the game?
Well, yeah, but as I say, you can't use that. You can't then say, we would have won that game because of that moment. You've got to keep it real. You've got to keep it real. We lost that game, so history's there. What would have happened, could have, should have, is something completely different. But it didn't happen. We won that. We lost that game, so you've got to say that's a loss. But as you're saying, it's quite right. In the Premier League now, we've won 2 in a row. We've got 2 good results, and let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Eddie's taking a little bit of a look. A deep dive and a bit of a knock, I think, towards a Liverpool fan chat here. Oh,
that's to Isak.
Yeah, look. That's cool. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Guys, what do you think? Sean Neve should have been given a chance. I don't know why he brought Gordon on for the last 20 minutes.
No, I don't either.
20 minutes? It was like 10 minutes, no? 5 minutes?
No, but I don't know why, when we went 4 up, why he couldn't have given him 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
just to have a look at it.
Yeah, he should have made the subs then. But.
Yeah, I mean, for me, he should have come on. He should have been given a shout.
Do you know what, guys? There was one moment, Hall did this lovely pass to Barnes, and he should have scored. Barnes normally scores them, but it went straight to Pickford. But I noticed Walter Mada wasn't sprinting into the box, because that could have been an easy pass to Watermada tapping. And I feel like if that was a Wissa, he would have been straight there. And I think, we're just missing that type of striker up front who's just going to run into the box.
Tiger, that is all to come.
Well, hopefully.
Something to look
But Tiger, he needs to play Watermada and Wissa together. I think that would be a great combination.
Watermada needs to be the 10 and Wissa's the number 9, you know. So.
I'm dying to see these two play together. I really am.
Will Eddie play both of them?
I'm
going to say, that's the thing.
Well,
what will Eddie play?
Well, Gordon can be the third striker now because he's a number. He classes him as a striker, so he can be the backup striker on the bench now. You know, so
he can warm the bench. Yeah.
He's quite a nice one from Malik Chow. Look, Malik Chow saying, "I'm grateful. It's an incredible moment for me. The Newcastle fans have welcomed me like it's my new home, so I am really grateful."
Willkommen!
Yeah, a lad who's enjoying his football.
He's our new third striker, Tiger, now, by the
way. Yeah.
By the way, I'm still struggling to find who was the last Newcastle player to score 2 headers in the same game.
Glenn Keely, but it was both in his own net.
David Moyes has made a comment. Newcastle, this is from David Moyes, from Keith Downing. Newcastle are maybe the most powerful team in the Premier League. Maybe it's Arsenal, but Newcastle are big, physical, so hard to play against. We couldn't stop them. Yeah, well done. Honest talk from David Moyes.
But I don't think that was the case today. But yeah, we were challenged, and we'll always challenge and be that team. But I don't think it was a game where we overpowered them as such. I think it was just we had better players on the pitch, and we had a better strategy. So I think that's a little bit naughty from Moyes. We didn't just go out there. It wasn't like a Wimbledon performance where we just went out and kicked the hell out of them. We played well and we got a good result.
Repetition, Bogey, but it's Tino and Hall. That's the magic potion. Tino and Hall. When they are playing, it's like having 12 outfield players. Those two just give you so much more. You know, that's they're astonishing. I watch them and I'm just gobsmacked by them.
Do you think, guys, if they stay fit now to the end of the season, they're England's starting fullbacks in the World Cup?
Got to be.
They should be, but I don't know.
I mean, James has got a chance at right back. But,
I was going to say the only thing that stops Tino is his control. Sometimes he does at that level. Yeah. You need players that can hold the ball, control, and like you say, if Reece James stays fit, I think Reece James will be the start. I'm not saying he won't be in the squad. I think, you know, if he carry on doing what he's doing now, I think he'll be knocking at the door. But left back, I think, you know,
that's Lewis Hall's position.
I mean, who's really up against him? You know, Gary Shaw's past it. I think Spence is a good player. Lewis Skelly.
Skelly's the one, but he's gone off the boil now, hasn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say he's been dropped from Arsenal's team, hasn't he?
So Hall is class. He's a class above all them players.
Just to repeat the repetition, Joseph Richardson's in the chat here saying the team is night and day when Tino and Hall both start. Elanga will be better with Tino also.
I'm glad he got assist today. You know, that kicks him up.
I tell you what was really, for the Voltemada goal, if you think of the way that ball played out from Ramsdale to Tino, it was a touch up the field then to Elanga. And Elanga was on the, you know, he'd done well to keep hold of the ball, but he was running into a player. He was on that full, but he still managed to play that ball square to Voltemada, who then had the composure just to lob Pickford. So, you know, when you think about it, that is literally only a 4-pass element, well, 3-pass element, if you like, but it's 4 touches mainly to get the ball at the other end of the goal. And that to me, is where Newcastle can be really strong. Now we've got a clinical finisher. I mean, I think he's a better finisher, and I'll be honest with you, than Isak. Because Isak used to snatch at a lot of his stuff.
Yes.
He used to score, but he was never really fully composed. I think Nick Voltemada going forward, you talk about Malik Chow probably potentially going to Munich. I think Voltemada is going to be the one
Gary, he's
that
another one as
everybody
well.
looks at.
He's another one.
Yeah.
Quick question, everybody. Does anybody think Pope would have saved that goal the day that were conceded?
No.
No, 100% not. So we lost absolutely nothing not having Pope as the best shot stopper, but we gained so much more.
I'm going to say, what did we gain?
Ramsdale with his distribution, as you say, that's a one bit of play out of many, where just the distribution was so much better that it got going forward so much quicker, and it was so much easier. It felt, as I say, I don't think we lost anything from not having Pope in goal.
We had exactly the same conversation the last time Ramsdale started the game.
Yes.
Yeah,
Jilly Young, no, you don't have to wait. E-I-E-I-E-I-O, up the Premier League we go, and we get to Europe. This is what we sing. We all love you. We all love you. Eddie is our king. You don't have to wait till Tuesday or Saturday.
Relax, Wade. Come on, man. Relax.
So, Bogey, is it still Eddie out?
We are Geordies.
Bogey, is it still Eddie out?
Yeah, for me, it's still Eddie out.
Yeah, same. I'm the same.
Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say one game changes me mind. A bit like Win. He was on the edge the other day. I
said if we get beat off Everton, we'll get beat off Spurs and don't beat Burnley, then I would be, because then Champions League would be out of the question almost.
But
I've said I haven't just said it recently, I've said it permanently. That's the key. Get to Christmas, if you're within shout of the Champions League, why the hell would you even consider getting rid of him?
Before the chat start on us as well, I haven't said I wanted anything bad about Eddie Howe in this whole pod. It's just been I got asked the question about Eddie getting
correct.
I would still want him out, but I've praised him up throughout this whole thing in saying that he had a great management game the day.
Yeah. But Bogey, when we had a pint, right? When me, you, and Win had a pint, you were saying that you wanted Joe Kinnear back as manager.
I have to go and dig him up. It's the only problem there. He died about 3 or 4 years ago.
No, but I tell you, here's the thing. You know, a lot of shouts for Areola from Bournemouth to replace Eddie Howe. What did he do today? He had a 2-1 lead at half time and conceded immediately after the break.
That's just one game.
Come on, you can't base a manager on one game. In which case, we'll base Eddie Howe's career on the Marseille game.
Listen, even now, right, what he's done in the last 3 seasons or whatever, you still got to give Eddie the space to learn his mistakes. He's not perfect, he's right, but look at where we are and what we're doing. Right? And this is where I get called a happy clapper. But you look back 4 years ago or whatever, before the takeover and before Eddie Howe was there, and look at where we were and what we were doing, and look at where we are now. Champions League, winning 4-1 away. All right, it's this season, it's up and down, and but the reason for that is because the team isn't complete. We're missing the striker, but we're trying our best to keep going. We're asking too much of Voldemort, to cover for a player that isn't there, and he's trying his best. But when Wissa comes in
and succeeding,
you're going to see a different tune, because Wissa, with people like Murphy and Barnes and stuff, and Tino and Hall putting crosses into the box, that guy's going to be scoring for fun.
But one thing,
Gary,
yeah,
the thing is, we're talking about the whole calendar year. Now this is our 5th away win the whole calendar year, so you can't just base it on one game.
And you're all
I'm not basing it on one game.
That's true, actually.
In this whole season.
It is. It's the 5th away win.
No, Gary,
I've been saying this all season.
Well,
you're jumping on the chance to back Eddie up, which is fine. And I'm not going to sit here and argue the other side of the coin because it's not fair on a day where we've won a game.
Yeah.
So, but just don't take this. Don't remember this when we're doing it the other way around, and you guys are trying to stand up for him. So I'm not going to sit here and slag him off the day. But I think you guys do need to start doing it, looking at the other way when things don't go right.
But didn't I do it in the last game, Bogey?
But I'm saying I'm not doing it. I'm not going to sit here and try to stand up for it.
I'll tell you what.
Did I? What's Eddie got to say?
Let's listen what Eddie's got to say on Sky Sports after the game.
He's saying,
Eddie, you wanted to stop people talking about this away run that you've been on, and you did that in some style tonight.
Yeah, we did. I'm very grateful to the players for that because it means I'm not asked so many questions maybe about the way form, but obviously we've got a lot to prove. But today was a big step forward. I thought the players played really well. It was a good performance. Yeah, we're delighted. We know we can do more, but we're heading in the right direction again, which is hugely important. We had a game plan today, a game plan based around our opponent and ourselves and trying to tweak things away from home to produce better results. And yeah, I think it helped us to a degree, but I think you're always reliant on the players playing well. And I think individually we were much better today. Thought we looked sharp and fresh for the changes as well. I think that helped us. I don't think there was much fatigue out on the pitch, which I think there has been in our previous away games. So yeah, hopefully, as I say, a step in the right direction away from home and we can continue to improve.
Eddie, you wanted to stop people
talking. Sorry, Gary, can I just say one point on what Gary just said, about how learning is. So the one thing annoys me about that, he needs to still be learning. Win and all the happy clappers class Howe on the same level as Pep. So how can you say if he's on the same level as Pep, but he's still learning? That makes no sense, though.
Hang on. When have I ever classed Howe on the same level as Pep?
I've never said that.
And I've never said that.
You said it many times, Win.
No, I haven't. What I've said is Pep could not have done what Eddie's done.
I don't know about that one. I think I've heard you say one time he's like same level as Pep or something like that.
Not a chance.
To be fair to Win, he said if Klopp was available, he'd get rid of Eddie today and bring Klopp back in.
I would.
So,
to be fair, though,
the thing is, Tiger, in anything in life, really, you can equate it. Is you can get yourself blinkered, right? You can get so focused on what you're trying to achieve that you can't. It takes something to take you outside of that environment, so in order to allow yourself to look from a different perspective and look from the outside in. So it takes little things like this. And no, I mean, everybody on the planet probably goes through their lives learning. You know,
that's a fair point. Yeah.
And tweaking. You know, if you live to 85, 85-year-old, you still got stuff you will learn.
Yeah. No, I get that. But so, I think it's
always say a day that you don't learn something is a wasted day.
I think it's just like Howe makes like the same mistakes over and over. Like surely he needs to learn from that already. It's been 4 years now. Like stop playing the favourites. Gordon's not a number 9. Pope should be dropped. Burn should not be starting. But hey, listen. If it takes him another 4 years for him to realise, then maybe he needs another 4 years, isn't it?
Well, as long as that 4 years brings with another trophy and another 2 years of Champions League, I'll be happy.
Hopefully, yeah. But yeah, I just don't like when people say like how still learning. I think like, he's been in management for like how long now? Like 16 years. Surely he should know the basics. If we all can see it, surely he can see it. So.
When Ferguson won his 10th Premier League, he said, "I'm still learning every day."
But he was getting results. He was winning trophies.
So is Howe getting results?
It's not a day. It's not a day. Point you've just made. If we can see it, why can't he, right? Which is why we are here, right? And he's getting paid millions of pounds, right, to run one of
but I don't need £6 million a year just to see in it. So
Guys,
I could do for £1 million a year. So
I don't think the day of the day is to be calling out how. I think the day of the day is that he's done the right thing in the game. So we've all got our own opinions on where we think Howe should be, but today especially, I think we should just be saying good in-game management, good game, we won, and I bet we're to show a little bit of sort of respect towards Howe, but expect the happy clappers to do the same when we lose, to be able to criticise him as well. So I think we've got to be humble when he does do things right.
We've got to support the guy.
But you can't just have happy clappers who just go along with everything he ever does.
Even when it's not working, support the guy. Support the guy.
That's not right, Gary. You can't.
You can't.
Everybody has a voice, Gaza.
That's what being a supporter's all about. We all have different opinions.
Hang on. No, I wasn't going to take this anyway, but you can't just say that. You've got to say with how it's not Howe United. It's Newcastle United. You support the team. You don't support Howe. You support.
But it's Newcastle United, not Newcastle divided.
But
that's exactly.
That's what it should be.
How? Bogey, you're turning it into that, right? What I'm saying is, he's the manager, right? He's proven himself, right? On more than one occasion, he's got us to a great place. Things aren't going well, right? And performances have been dreadful, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean he's incompetent. So what you got to do is give it time, back him, right?
On that, Gary.
Can you imagine now?
He's won one game. You can't say he's brilliant because he's won that one game the day.
I'm not saying brilliant. I'm not saying no. All right then. So I'm only saying that he's a good manager because he won today. Is that what you're telling me?
But no, I'm not only saying that we've got issues with him because he hasn't.
He's just won us a cup. He just won us a cup.
Okay, no, you're right, Gary. One more cup. You're right. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, we're gonna call it a day because, like I say, this is opinions. It's like a game of tennis with you guys because it just keeps going over the net, backwards and forwards. Nobody knows the truth. That is the problem. Nobody knows how good Eddie Howe is. Nobody knows how bad he is because we don't. This team, for me, is the perfect team that blows hot and cold week by week. The season's defined by swings in form. It's unpredictable, capable of brilliance one week and frustration the next. Momentum never really sticks. A form line that's all over the place. And I think that, for me, is where we end. Because, like I say, you are going to get... It's a perfect yo-yo team. I said it before, and I'll say it again. If you want a roller coaster... and you don't want to get up in the heights, just follow Newcastle because it takes you on a roller coaster every week. If you will always have an opinion, right, where you go and say, he's this and he's that. He may not be any good, but you know what? We wouldn't be where we are today if Howe wasn't in place. And we certainly wouldn't be having this argument about where we've been, and we certainly wouldn't have this argument about where we're going. And for
That's
me,
an interesting one.
Go on. Let's have a look at that one before we go. Andy,
199 from Andrew Baum. We've won 8 and 12. That is not sackable form, which is true. And
but
just while we're doing
though.
the super chats, thank you, Becca J, for your £20 super sticker. Thank you, Big Nick fan. Thank you, Olasula Adnan, for your 2 super chats. 3 super chats. Thank you, Michael McIntyre, for your £5 super sticker. And thank you, Andrew Barwick, at the finish there for your... We have won 8 and 12. Take that.
One last thing. I just hope the way we play tonight, we play like that at the Stadium of Shite. That's all I want. We need to win that fucking game. I swear to God.
That's going to be a toughie. Sorry. Yeah, we are going to be... It's going to be a toughie. I mean, like I say, I mean, The only thing is, they are going to be stripped of all the AFCON players. So
will we have Wissa?
Well, that depends. They could be if Congo do what they have the right to do, which is to take the players into the squad 3 weeks before the tournament starts. There will be, but I think there'll be arrangements made whereby they won't, and I think it'll be 10 days, in which case we'll miss out because they'll be there for us.
Will Wissa be back for that game?
Well, that's the thing. Do you think it? Because I've got a sneaky feeling that Wissa could have been back already, and
Me too.
They are not starting him.
It does make, if you think about what Eddie said in the presser win,
yeah,
we've got a date in mind, but we're not going to discuss it because then we don't want to upset people if it's delayed.
Just a quick one on that one. They're not going to be able to do that because he's got the country of the Congo can call him up anyway and have their team look at him. So it's a bit of a fruitless point if they're trying to do that because it's not as if he's not going to get called up, and if he is, anyway.
The bottom line is it's going to be down to Wissa.
Exactly.
If he wants to go to AFCON, and who can blame him, is what I say. Who can blame him? He's 29 years old. He's got an AFCON and a World Cup coming up, probably his last reasonable chance to be there. He's going to be, 33 the next World Cup. So I couldn't blame him if he goes. People say he should have loyalty to the club. Well,
Well, hopefully he doesn't get injured. That's the main thing.
Well, that's
isn't it?
that. And if he does, he does. If he does,
everyone's going to be on his back.
Well,
Listen,
I heard he was.
I don't think it's got anything to do going to AFCON. They stop paying his wages if he comes back.
Yeah.
This is all money in the coffers, lads. Anyway, we're going to call it a night, guys, because we've done an hour and a half and we've all got jobs to do. Well, I have anyway. Thank you ever so much to the Mighty Win, Doc, Gary Morn, Boki, and Tiger for coming on. Like I say, sorry we didn't put it out there in the chat as we always do because we want the phone-ins to start working, and it just gets really confusing, and it upsets the stream. So anybody in the chat that was expecting us to put it in there, we can't do that. We until the phone lines are working across all of our platforms, we'll open the phone lines up because as soon as we overload it with stream members, it just goes to pot. So apologies for anybody that goes in there or wanted to come on board tonight. We just keep it to a minimum. But thank you anyway for your support. As always,
Gary?
Wynn's mentioned everybody. Yes, Gary?
Can you just mention to everybody who's watching, if anybody's got any money they don't want, can you give them me details, please?
You don't need it, mate.
No.
Anyway.
It's what do you call it? Disclosure of information we're not allowed to.
No, exactly. Exactly. Anyway, thank you ever so much for everybody that supported us. Thank you for the watch along. Don't forget, if you haven't already, smash that like, subscribe, share, do everything that you need to. Hit the bell if you haven't already. We will see you on the next one.
Hit the thumbs up. That costs you nothing.
Exactly. It certainly gets us forward. We'll be off tomorrow, but we'll be back at you on Monday. See you then.
See you then.
Guys.
How are you, the lads?
Lassies and Burns, take care, everybody. Have a lovely rest of the weekend.
Ciao.